Hi there guys, Snoopston here with another Cert guide. This time we're going to be talking about arguably my favourite vehicle in the entire game, the Harasser. First we're going to go over the body, the base of the Harasser and the certs for that, as there's quite a lot of controversy surrounding the weapons and I'd like to talk about them a bit more in depth than I did the Prowler. So here we go. For the passive systems, I would cert up to around the 200 mark. The default requisition time for the Harasser is 15 minutes. Certain to the 200 cert mark gives you 8 minutes timer on it. The Harasser costs 300 vehicle resources, so you'll be able to pull 2 of them on a maxed out vehicle resource pool. But by the time you've certed acquisition timer to 200, you should be able to survive the cooldown time amount. Also, the Harasser is by far the best vehicle for disengaging in the game, and as a result you'll find yourself surviving a lot longer than you would in other vehicles. For the utility slot, I use the NFI 2000 Turbo. The reason being is that I like the ability to be able to drastically increase my speed in one go. There is also the fact that you can juke tank shots if you hit the turbo just as they fire the tank round at you, and I like to be able to get up to my top speed quickly as well. Max rank turbo will regenerate fuel 50% faster than default, which in my opinion is absolutely volatile. The other slots are fire suppression. Fire suppression, in my opinion, isn't that great on a Harasser because your gunner should be an engineer. In a Harasser, the engineer has the ability to jump into the third seat, the rumble seat it's known as, and repair the vehicle while it's going along. So I think that kind of makes the fire suppression redundant. Although there is one small benefit: when your Harasser goes into the red, you lose some maneuverability and some speed, which can make you an easier target to finish off. So it may have a use in that respect, but for me personally, it does not. For Gate Shield Diffuser, I see the uses of it. I suppose it could be really useful for getting, say, a squad leader through a shield to get a squad beacon down so that your troops can assault the facility. But personally, it's not something I would look into. I use the Harasser as an offensive weapon, not as a transport vehicle. IR Smoke, same reasoning behind this as on the Prowler, protects you from lock-on acquisitions only. With the Harasser you have the ability to be nimble, you're fast, you're agile, you can use terrain to shake off IR rockets or lock-on rockets. So I think IR Smoke isn't the greatest. Bear in mind, these aren't facts, these are my opinions on the best way to cert out your Harasser, and I've had a lot of success in the Harasser. People on Sarah's server for a while with my outfit ran Harassers like exclusively for a long time. We run Prowlers, Harassers, were very much a mechanized focused outfit. As for proximity radar, I can sort of understand a sort of use for it, driving into a tower, revealing all the enemy positions for your friendlies, but if I'm honest, you're not going to be staying still long enough or being close enough to the enemy without them dying for this to be useful. Again, if you've any guys that watch my videos, if you've used any of these and had any form of success, please feel free to say in the comments, because I would like to consider all options for the different vehicles. I'm always looking for new ways to play. In the defensive slot, I run full composite. Composite will decrease C4 damage by 60%, allowing you to survive a single stick of C4, which is pretty good. It also reduces all damage by 20%, which is fairly good. That's on top of your innate resistance to small arms fire. Mine Guard, I can understand the logic of using Mine Guard on a Harasser, although personally I wouldn't use it because I like to use terrain, so I don't drive on the roads very much. And if I'm honest, in a combat zone, you're probably best off avoiding the roads anyhow. As for nanite auto repair, I don't think it's viable on Harasser. The main reason being is that your engineer will jump in the back seat and repair you when things get hairy. As long as you've got good communication, you can be very, very difficult to kill. For vehicle stealth, I can see the use for vehicle stealth, especially in a Vulcan setup, because you're coming up behind enemy tanks. You could use that extra little bit of time to get those few more rounds into the back of them that might make the difference between them dying and you getting the kill, or them reacting and driving you away. As for the performance slot, this one is kind of controversial. Some people prefer Scrapper Combat Chassis, which is traction, turning, brakes and reverse. I can understand the uses for it. I've actually highly considered setting it out myself, although I haven't seen any evidence to suggest it's, the exact. I haven't seen the numbers for Scrapper. I've seen videos, but then videos are showing things like this are not very clear in terms of the footage of it. Serger Power Chassis, hill climbing and handling. I always thought handling meant turning and traction and stuff like that, so I'm not really sure what handling means. As for hill climbing, I hill climb with the turbo, and it's perfectly adequate for that. I have no problems getting up hills in a Harasser. I use Racer High Speed because I like to get to my top speed quickly, and I like to be able to evade quickly. So if I have an ESF chasing me, for example, then I can do a quick turn and immediately shoot off in the other direction. Now he can make that turn and follow me, but you can do that endlessly. I also like to be able to outrun lock-on rockets and use the terrain to hide myself. The chassis is kind of a preference thing, I think, and it depends what you prefer. If any of you guys who watch the video have any experiences with the other two and want to share those, please feel free to put them in the comments. I'm sure people could learn from that. And now we get on to the difficult part, which is the weapons. So in the part 2 video, you'll see us running a Marauder. Now, before game update 12, the Fury was by far the best anti-infantry weapon. It had a direct damage of 700, which gave you the ability to one-shot infantry, and even though it has a smaller clip size than a Marauder, it was still by far the best infantry weapon. Then they nerfed Fury in game update 12 from 700 direct to 300 direct, and then the Marauder became the go-to anti-infantry weapon because it had 300 direct damage, so it had the same amount, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. And the main difference was that fully certed clip size on the Marauder was 15, because the Marauder has no anti-vehicle capability whatsoever. But recently there's been a lot of controversy surrounding what people are calling from Sony a stealth nerf. When I came to do this video, I did research on the grenade launchers just to get the exact numbers in my head, so I knew I could be 100% clear on what I was talking about. Now, the Marauder, it appears, has taken a stealth nerf. The damage on the tooltip in game is 150. The Planetside Universe Wiki still says the old damage, as does the Wikia. I'm unsure. Now, I looked for patch notes. I couldn't find anything on it. There's even stuff on Reddit about it being stealth nerfed. And I think the reason why was because the Fury cost 1,000 certs, right? And the Marauder cost 250. And when they nerfed the Fury became a very expensive, obsolete weapon, and the Marauder was the option to have for 750 certs less. So I think this is why the Marauder nerf has happened. But the Marauder ammo capacity for the clip is 15 maxed out, which is really good. It increases its kill potential a lot. But me personally, I still think the Fury is the better anti-infantry weapon. So on my Fury, I run thermal optics for target acquisition. Don't need to say any more than that. Magazine size maxed out. That's 4 extra grenades to the default 5, which makes 9 in the clip. And ammo capacity. Now, I recommend setting ammo capacity to the maximum in the Fury because it takes an age to reload from an ammo tower. I think it takes 8 rounds from the ammo tower per tick, which is ludicrous. The Marauder doesn't have the same issue, and neither does the Vulcan. I don't know why it's like that. If somebody knows, maybe they can tell me in the comments. In the video, in the part 2 video to this guide, where I show footage of my setup in action, you'll see us running the Marauder. That was before I did any research to find out, again, which one was the strongest. If there'd been any documentation on the Marauder nerf, I would have already switched over to the Fury. Naughty Sony. Secondly, for the anti-vehicle, I used the Vulcan. The Vulcan's great. I take it over the Halberd purely because it sounds cool, it looks cool, and it's a faction-specific weapon. The thermal optics is I use it for target acquisition. I don't see the point in zoom on a Vulcan since its effectiveness diminishes over range. Now, there's a debate on magazine size and reload speed. I find with the Vulcan that when you get to a certain when you're attacking an enemy vehicle, you always set the vehicle on fire and then run out of ammo, even from a full clip. I'm not sure what this is maxed out. I know at rank 3 it's 6, so maybe it jumps to 8 or maybe 12. I'm not sure on that. If anybody knows, they could put it in the comments. That would be greatly appreciated. But I think with a fully setted magazine size, you may be able to one-clip lightnings and tanks. I don't think, because of the amount that the reload speed decreases the reload speed by, I don't think it's that viable. It's such a minuscule amount that I don't think it's worth it. For ammo capacity, there's no issues resupplying the Vulcan at the ammo tower, so I don't think you can have it as far as you want. It's a preference thing again. It increases the frequency at which you go back if you don't have it. Go back to the ammo tower. So you may as well have it, but it's not essential. I'll do the appearance next because I think the Harasser is a badass looking thing. So I don't run any camo on it on the TR side, and the main reason is because at night time it can be a bit of a bitch to see with all blacked out, and if I equip the camo, I think it looks kind of stupid really, and it's a very obvious target. For the Lumifiber, I run the default Lumifiber, the original one. One of my friends actually purchased the LX version, and the composite armor completely obscured quite a bit of it. Sony actually refunded him on that. For the tyres, I run the Trailblazers. They don't give you any traction, but they look cool as hell. I find the default wheels to look very plain. And for the windshield, I use this Shatterguard one because it's very Mad Max-ish, and I think it makes the Harasser look really cool. So that's my appearance setup, and that's really all I've got to say about the Harasser. In my opinion, the best vehicle in the game. One of the most fun, being that you have a dedicated driver and a dedicated gunner. If you enjoyed this video, found it entertaining, then please feel free to subscribe, like, comment. If you think there's anything I can improve on as well, please feel free to comment and let me know. Thanks for watching. Snoopston signing off.